Be honest, John. If you hadn't been there with us, you'd have been miserable.
Oh, I was miserable when I was there with you.
Wow.
Hello, everyone. Really?
Yeah, it's a celebration episode.
All right.
Goodbye.
Woo!
Cheers, Buzz.
Cheers. Should I actually do that again, though?
No,
actually,
keep
this
rolling,
is the
keep rolling.
intro.
Oh,
This is
okay.
the
That's the
intro.
whole intro.
We're doing
Okay.
it live.
We are doing it live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Anime Club After Dark. But this is not just another episode. This is our 200th numbered episode of the podcast. Woo! I have my gamer word pass is right here. So yeah.
Don't.
But I have everyone with me, as you can see. I have our Zara source material, John.
I'm looking for party favors in case
Can I
I
just
just have
say-
them. But
Can I just say
don't.
the back of your hair right now looks exactly like Sasuke's? Turn your head to the light of the. It looks. Look at this shit straight back like Sasuke.
Is it?
Yes.
I can't see it.
I see it.
I can't unsee it now. We have our member berry man Shinoda.
Yeah, remember, kids?
No, they don't. That's the problem. No one remembers anything, Shinoda.
Remember
Least
Barry
of all
from South
you.
Park.
And last
Remember
but not
Star
least,
Wars? Oh, I remember Star Wars.
last but not least, we have our poser extraordinaire Nitai, who has
Hey,
an
nuts.
octopus on his head. So Nitai,
How are you doing, numbnuts?
thanks, Nitai. I'm sure my father will love hearing that someone else calls me numbnuts. So Nitai, before we started, you said you had something to show us. You have a surprise.
So okay. So 200th episode. We're planning to air it on our 8th anniversary.
Yeah, this
right?
will be coming out on November 20th, 2023, which will be the 8th anniversary of our podcast.
So I wanted to have like a bunch of like a big pile of paper to make it very dramatic, but I don't want to just have a laptop. I made some stats.
Oh my
I
God.
love numbers.
My-
Let's
my
go.
lord.
What is this PowerPoint presentation? Welcome to the
Bro.
ACAD business meeting.
Bro, in celebration of 200 episode, I decided to do some numbers because I thought, hey,
He dug deep.
might as well enjoy like everything we've done so far. So, first thing first. Overall episode runtime, and that's including all the numbered episode, all sideshows, podcasts, game nights, whatever, comes to around 619.5 hours, which
Right.
is 25.8 days. So if you start now, in less than a month, you could finish the entirety of the podcast. So
Run the
Okay.
ACAD
Without-
lore.
As someone
Yeah.
who just marathoned the entirety of One Piece. Okay.
you know
what?
Speaking of One Piece,
Oh no!
One Piece has 1,075 episodes, which is around 412 hours, which is 17.17 days. So we've already passed One Piece in terms of hours.
In terms of
Goddamn.
runtime,
Let's go.
Yeah. For another reference, though, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has 190 episodes, so about 73 hours. So that means if you would take about 8 rewatches of JoJo in order to watch so it will take about 8 rewatches of JoJo in order to watch as much content as the podcast has. Think about that.
so far there will be more JoJo's anime.
There will be more. I jumped ahead of the curve for that one.
Pray for the poor soul who decides to rewatch all of the ACAD episodes.
I know. Well, especially those early episodes because they were rough.
I don't even want them to exist, but they do.
Yeah.
Bro, Jason fan alone was a co-host. Let's be
I
honest.
Yeah.
know.
That damn fan that he refused to turn off.
Because you know how hot it is in California.
I know.
Bro,
I don't blame
poor
the man.
guy. I respect the man. Another fun anecdote. I have a bunch of them, so feel free to
Hold
cut
on,
in whenever
hold
you
on.
want.
I gotta
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Just
I gotta get prepared for this.
Yeah, pour one out for this next one, Alex. This one is very close to your heart. Um,
Let's see how
Monogatari
many
was
times I've
talked-
said lol.
no. Monogatari was talked about in the podcast for about 1,358
Mentions
minutes.
accounts. Oh my
Minutes. Wow.
Minutes.
No, hours. Okay, it is hours when counting dedicated episodes.
Holy shit.
Are
When
you
counting
telling
every
me
episode.
like an eighth of our podcast runtime is just about Monogatari?
No,
Yes.
maybe I was very tired. It's probably 1,358 minutes. My bad.
I'm pretty
when
sure it has
counting-
to be minutes because that's more hours than there's
Yeah, yeah,
content in
yeah.
the podcast.
I was
I'm
about
stupid.
to say.
I'm stupid. When counting every episode of the podcast, this number might be larger by 50%. Just saying.
Yeah.
A few more anecdotes just for the fun of it. Bless you. Aside from the mainline episode, bless you.
The magical sneezing wall.
I know, right? Aside from the mainline episodes, the podcast has another 215 episodes of WTFs, Sportcast, sideshows. So this brings the total amount of ACAD episodes to 415 over the past 8
God
years. So good job,
damn.
guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of spoilcasts, we have done a dedicated spoilcast for about 49 TV shows and 27 movies.
Already?
Oh,
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. I went way back, bro. I went all the way to the
Oh, I
back.
know.
This
I'm
dude
impressed.
last night he was DMing me. It's like, do you remember that time that Irma and John went back and forth for like 20 minutes on the podcast talking about Occultic 9 and how shitty the
Funny
pacing
thing-
was?
That wasn't me.
You mentioned that, Alex. No,
Not
that
John.
was
wasn't
Tom
me.
and
No,
Irma.
show.
Tom.
It was
That was
Tom.
Tom and
Okay,
Irma.
yeah. It wasn't me. I was like, I've never seen a Cultic 9.
Funny
Anyway.
thing about that, Alex. So that was episode 43 of the podcast. which
Why
was
do you
co-hosted-
know this?
I dug deep. It was
Dug
co-hosted
deep.
by the largest
This man
group of
rewatched the
people on an
entire
episode.
podcast.
What do you say, Natalia? I'm sorry.
So episode 43 was hosted by the largest group of co-hosts on an episode, which was 8 people.
God.
Oh
that
god,
consisted-
it's the cursed episode.
Double
for-
what
for
you
the
see
record,
here.
For the record, there was a large amount of episode which we were 7 people, which was rough. Those 8 people were Alex, Sho, Chinoda, Riker, Tom, Irma, Jason, and myself. And for the record, Chinoda spoke a total of 4 sentences in 2 hours and 15
See,
minutes.
I knew it. In terms of
Sorry,
speaking
baby.
metrics, like number 1 would be Alex, number 2 would be me, and then at the very bottom, it's always Chinoda.
I'm very selective about what I say.
Oh, really?
A lot of his stuff is just
Bro, go back and listen to that episode, Chinoda, and tell me what's that like fucking quality sentences you're shouting out at us.
It was
Speaking to
complete
the
bullshit,
galaxy.
probably.
So like, I'm excited. So
Hey, I've gotten better over the years, okay?
have you?
So I do-
what?
I have. Fuck you.
speaking of that episode, do you guys want to have a little time capsule?
Oh no.
Sure.
So that episode aired on March 20th, 2017. And here's a few quotes from that episode.
Oh, here we go.
Alex, where is my No Game No Life season 2? Riker, they will announce Riker, they will announce it at the end of the film. Please give me a 3rd season of Magical Index.
Hey, one of those two things did happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Time was very funny towards that. Here's another quote. Nitai, I will try Canon someday. Alex, when part 9 gets announced.
Part 9
Do
didn't
that
get
whenever you will.
announced, so
I mean, Natalia,
Yeah,
what
it
are you
did.
waiting for?
Yeah, man. You have the commitment now.
We need
I have one
someone.
more.
We need one of our followers to actually hold us to account, like Natalia is right now.
Oh dear God, don't say that.
Bro, I'm not holding myself account for that shit. I'm just
I know.
cataloging shit. I have one more final quote from that episode that caught my eye, it caught my interest. What was it? Yeah. So Sho was talking about how he's still watching Magical Lovers. Irma,
Oh,
have they
God.
fucked yet? Did you watch that show, Alex?
Yes, I did.
So did they fuck?
No comment.
What is this show?
It was
It's
bad.
the show that Irma, Sho, and Alex watched for God knows what
It
reason.
involves this.
Oh, of course.
just a few more anecdotes to wrap this up. Yeah, at one point the podcast had to juggle schedule between 5 different time zones.
Yep.
God,
Oh
Dang.
God.
Do you want to comment on that?
That was
kill us
Pacific,
now.
Eastern,
Central, because Irma was in Central.
Central. I don't Australia time and Israel
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Whatever
you go.
time zone Melbourne is in Australia.
It's fine. It's whatever.
It was the
Good times, eh?
worst. Fucking the worst recording schedule. Oh my God.
And it was amazing that we were able to get more than a couple people on.
Yeah.
Consistently, we're like
Consistently,
there's a
yeah.
good chunk of episode where there's like 6 to 7 people. God knows it was rough listening to it, but
I'd like to point out I was also doing this while juggling 3 jobs at the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah, that
working
was
at
your
Advanced
that's
Auto
right.
Parts,
Local bank and Amazon.
and Amazon. That's right. I do remember that.
fucking beast.
The
I
fact that
don't
you're
know how I
alive.
did it.
Do you have regrets?
Yes.
It's okay. You're past that stage of your life now.
It's much easier scheduling stuff now than it was then.
I know, right? It's funny
Except
how
when
that
John goes on a hunting trip and doesn't tell us until a week before.
Listen, I didn't know
Bro.
if I wanted to go or not, and then like I decided I wanted to go 2 days before.
Nice. It's a few more. So there was only one.
We had
drunk
no
count.
idea you were going to do this, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It's good stuff.
So yeah,
By the way,
there was only one
Ben
drunk
says
count.
hi.
That's for the best.
Ooh.
Hi, fan. Let's see. There are 40 WTF episodes. The first one aired on February 12, 2016, aka the 7th released podcast by Anime Club After Dark. We're like, fuck it.
We already gave up. I was like, fuck, anime sucks. We gotta do something else.
That was also way before we started doing it every month, or roughly every month.
There
Yeah, I
was
don't-
a good chunk of time between every WTF back then. Like, it was
Yeah.
very irregular. It was always fun, though. And so far, there were only, correct me if I'm wrong, only 2 in-person recordings for Anime Club After Dark.
Yep. That would be
yeah.
Alex and Riker.
Yep.
And then it would have been the Otaku
Me and
episode
Natai.
for us.
Me and Natai
Oh,
also
that's
did
right.
one.
Also, the Monogatari record.
There's
So
3.
3.
Those 3.
That's
Oh,
3.
look at that.
Right,
Get
right,
fact
right,
checked.
right.
Forgot
Fact
about-
checked.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
It's
myself.
worthless.
Now I will say technically there are, if you want to include a couple of other episodes in that, because there was one of those old Otaku game night, or actually a couple of those Otaku game night episodes that we used to do, where Riker and I are actually we're in his apartment recording together, but
Which
the rest of
we
you aren't
hosted-
with us.
Which we hosted 9 of Otaku
Yes.
game nights, by the way.
We
I thought about bringing those back.
anymore.
We
It's
do
hard
need to bring those
to-
back.
It's hard to do Otaku game night for making it like Otaku games, right?
Yeah. I mean, because all of the
Just make
ones
it a
that we
game
did
night,
are
I think.
ones that I came up with. There were like, I did an anime version of like What's My Line, and
That was a lot of fun.
did like a trivia night thing, which I could come up with a bunch of trivia questions again.
Well, the only Otaku game night I remember is the one where Sho talks so much shit and his hubris brought him down. In the end. I won! I fucking won!
I remember that.
one?
I remember that because your final score was 39 in that game, and you were like at the end, you're like, haha, thank you.
The sheer silence that day.
I like how you could always
What's-
tell when Sho was upset when he got quiet.
Real quiet.
When
He
Sho
get
got
real
quiet, he was
quiet.
genuinely upset.
His jimmies were rustled.
Also, just one more final anecdote. The longest episode we've ever recorded was WTF episode 39, which was 3 hours and 15 minutes long.
Was
I
that
would
the
like to
hot
point
sauce
out-
episode?
Huh?
No.
No.
I would like to point out that is the longest we may have released. It is not the longest that was recorded.
Released.
Because I remember we recorded an entire nearly 4-hour long spoiler cast for Darling in the Franxx that never got released.
Oh,
Rest in
yeah.
peace.
Is that the one that I accidentally destroyed?
No, it's the one that I can't remember who it was, but there was someone whose audio was too degraded to use.
Oh.
That's a shame.
And it was because their mic gave out like halfway through the recording, and we just couldn't use it. And John's like, "I can't save this. There's nothing here to save."
So yeah,
I
just wanted to like put some numbers together. A good way
Thank
to
you,
start the
Jamie.
show.
Well,
Yeah, thank you.
Jamie, very good job. Very proud of you. Very nice.
Here we go.
L'chaim.
Hi.
For 200 more, boys.
Yes. Now, I would like to point out, if you go into our, what was that?
I said I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I would like to point out, so our numbering scheme for our episodes has not been consistent over these several years, to say the least. We did a series of episodes for a while, like a little over a year and a half, maybe 2 years, called Sideshow series. If those came out today, they'd be numbered episodes.
Yeah, I don't
Definitely.
I don't know. We didn't have a criteria for
Numbering our
What's a numbered
episodes for a
episode?
long
what
time.
constitutes a numbered episode and what doesn't constitute a numbered episode until like a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah, like maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, you and I were like, we should really figure out what makes a numbered episode.
We had
Yeah,
no
'cause it's like, it's
rules.
hard
It was the
to-
wild, wild west. It really was.
Well, our WTFs have always been independently numbered. And now that
Yeah.
we've started doing the monthly dumps, those are also independently numbered too. But there were a lot of older episodes where we did them as like sideshow series, which they were always supposed to be like more focused episodes that were typically a little shorter. And they usually are. They were usually like an hour or less. But today, if we release those, even though they're shorter, they'd just be numbered episodes.
It's funny because we also like alongside these we had OVAs episode,
Yeah.
which was also a thing that didn't last for a long time because
No, I think we
You
only
know.
have 2 or 3 of those.
I don't
Something like
remember any of the
that.
OVA episodes.
there's a few. There's a
Dude,
few.
it's been 8 years. How you expect me to remember everything I
Why? You don't remember every opinion you ever had, John?
No. I just say shit sometimes.
Like it's funny because we only started uploading the episodes of our podcast to our YouTube channel starting around episode 50, 55, somewhere around there. So the first like 50 or so
47.
episodes. Oh, excuse me. There. So the first like couple dozen episodes, 3 dozen episodes or so are only available on SoundCloud and Spotify, only as like audio only. And it's only
And
this year that we
Apple
started doing
Podcasts.
video,
And Apple Podcasts.
and Apple
Apple
Podcasts. Yeah.
Podcasts.
Listen, Marcus set that up. I don't know how to change it, so it's just there.
It's there for eternity.
It's there for eternity. But I forgot where I was going with this.
If you wanted to listen to the early episodes, it's only on that. Only this year did we start using cameras.
Yes. Which is kind of a regret I have. I wish we'd started doing this earlier.
Yeah,
I think
me
it's
too.
Way
Yeah.
better.
Well, for a long time, it's very hard to get everyone up to like a good technical level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always hard to just get everyone to like, hey, stop using that $20 Walmart freaking headset because it sounds like garbage.
Yeah.
But
Fun times.
after a while, back when we used Skype, we did start doing like
Oh,
at least
that
video
hurts.
calls. I don't remember if we recorded them as like video, but
I
at
don't
least some of
remember
them
either.
were recorded.
Actually, no, I do
No,
remember
some of
one
them
of
Some
them.
were
recorded.
recorded.
I remember
Yeah.
one of them in particular that was recorded. It was the Mirai Nikki drunk cast that we did.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my god, never
The
again.
one and only drunk cast we had. Do you want to talk about that?
God, no, I don't, because I threw up so much that night. Listen, so we did
You know why you threw up? It's because you made a stupid drinking game. Everyone take a drink or shot every time she says Yuki. And I'm like,
no,
dear God.
no, it was originally anytime anyone said Yuki, and then we
That's
realized,
even
oh my god,
worse.
they say this name so many times in the show. Then like we were doing it, like we gotta change it to whenever a Yuno says Yuki, and then we found out, oh my god, she's the only one that says Yuki.
And she says it a lot.
You guys were doomed from the get-go.
I think
No.
I chose. I also very stupidly chose Fireball to take my shots with that night. That was my first mistake. I know. I can't drink it. Ever since then, I haven't been able to drink it at all. But dude, I think I had at least 14, 15 shots of that in a row, and I'm like, my stomach's like, this is not
15?
good, man. This is
Ugh,
not
all
good.
that sugary cinnamon, bro. I'd fucking
Ugh.
vomit.
And I
It's like
did
the
not
same reason
stop.
why I can't drink rum. Like it's just too sweet. Makes me want to vomit.
I mean, I guess it worked for Alex. He started flirting with someone in chat, wasn't it?
Oh,
Not correct.
no.
I forget who it was, but you may be right.
The video is still on our
though.
YouTube.
Oh god.
No, it was on Twitch. Because
Was
on
it on
YouTube,
Twitch?
it would have gotten immediately like.
It's still on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube now, but I don't think it was originally on YouTube when we did
Oh
it.
no, the original stream was on Twitch. That's correct.
Yeah. But that, like, literally, so we ended that stream and we were all fucking really drunk at that point. And like literally 5 seconds after I hit the end stream button, I grabbed my bucket and went
Beautiful.
and then there was a long period of silence and Riker just goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like,
See?
"No."
There's a reason I say Mirai Nikki is bad for you, bro.
I'm
not
not
lying.
me that night. So then, no, that doesn't end. So after I ended like the call and like I gotta like clean myself up and get ready, I had the brilliant idea. I'm gonna go get a shower and then just go to bed. Sounds reasonable, right? After you've just thrown up after you've been drinking. So
yeah. Sober up.
yeah, I didn't go to the shower. I went to the bathtub in the other bathroom in my house at that point and just laid down. I didn't even make it to the bed. And I fell asleep right in the bathtub and I woke up covered in vomit. So I threw up in my sleep.
Oh.
Damn.
Well, at least hey, that saved you the trouble of cleaning it up, though.
That's true because I woke up the next morning covered in vomit and I'm like, well, this is convenient. And I just turned on the bathtub.
Oh my god.
First
The
thought
dismal
when
cast.
covered in vomit as you wake up. Well, this is convenient.
You know what's the funny thing? This is not even the only time someone threw up from alcohol during a recording or after a recording.
Do you want to talk about that, Natang?
Oh yeah. Do it.
It's all yours, bro. My memory is probably not as good as yours.
This was
Snafu.
when we did the Snafu spoiler cast, which is the actual spoiler cast is actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It was before we had cameras though, so if you do go watch
Even
it,
though I
it's gonna be
blanked
audio
for
only.
like 20 minutes of it.
Yeah. But you were drinking, I think, pretty much all through the recording. And then we get to the end, right? Oh, he's got to. Oh, he can't listen to
Oh
Snafu.
no, Shinoda.
Now he's gonna vomit.
Now he's gonna go vomit. But no, you were like when we got done, we were because for those who don't know, when we get done recording, and this is even back then, and this is kind of a tradition goes back all the way to the podcast. When we stop recording, we still hang out and chat, and usually for at least 20, 30 minutes, sometimes longer. But
Alex
everyone
has no
left.
Friends.
Oh, shut up, John.
You hold us conversational hostage. I'm like, I'm trying to play video games. I'm trying to go get Korean barbecue. You're like, so anyway, John, what are you doing after this? I'm like, dude.
I have
That's so
friends.
mean.
I have friends. You're my friends.
Exactly.
No, so Natai and I were talking, just the two of us, after you guys left, and he
Was I,
just
on? I don't think it wasn't. Was I on?
John
Snap?
was on.
Was I?
You were
John was
there.
on the Snafu's podcast.
You didn't stay for the after party. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I do. I remember you telling me because you're like, I think you're like, oh god, Natai is crying and then he like threw up. Okay, it's been like 10 minutes. I think he's asleep. Should I leave? I'm like,
I remember
guess,
reading
like,
all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Natai just proceeded to get drunker and drunker as we were just talking, and like he started slurring his words to the point I couldn't understand. He's like, "Hey, yeah," and then it's like there's Hebrew mixed in this. Like I don't understand what you're saying.
For the record, on my side of the screen, I was just listening to Snafu soundtrack and songs and just crying my heart out.
I didn't know this. I did not know this.
I was listening to a soundtrack that was like, it's over.
Man was going through his feelings.
And then like there's comes a point where Natai says, "No one's ever gonna love me."
damn.
It was a very difficult time. I will not lie.
And then I hear him like get up, and he's like, "I'll be right back," and I hear in the background. and then like I can hear footsteps, and then boom, like someone hit the ground, and then I'm like, Natai, and then just nothing for a while, and then after like 5 minutes or so, I hear.
I just blanked and went to bed.
And the worst part about this is I did not know the etiquette here. I didn't know what the etiquette you're supposed to do when someone passes out in like a private
Discord call.
on Discord. So I go to John, and John doesn't really was like, I don't know, man, fucking figure it out on your own. And I still feel bad about this to this day, because all this happened while Show's parents were going through a divorce. And I go to Show, and I'm like, Show, can you help me with something? I feel bad about it.
Depression. Hey.
Hey.
The dark.
I'll
Natai
drink to
art.
that, bro.
Hey, cheers, bro.
Cheers, I'll drink to that.
Cheers to that, bro.
No, so I feel like we should talk a little bit, because this is going to be the entire episode. If you haven't figured it out right now, we're just talking about like the podcast and our memories and stuff. I didn't even mention that out front.
We're just going balls deep, yeah.
Yeah, balls deep. I do want to address some questions that have been asked of us. We kind of mentioned it a little bit already about all the people that have been on the podcast in the past. I want to go ahead and list them off, because there's a lot of people that may not realize we used to have like, I think it was up to like 11 people that were like regulars on the podcast. So I'm not counting any guests that were only on for an episode or a couple episodes, or people we've had back a couple of times but aren't regulars. So there's obviously the 4 of us we have here now. There was Riker, Marcus, Tom, Irma, Jason, the 4 of us. I know I'm missing someone.
Show,
yes. You just mentioned him.
The fucking the cornerstone of the podcast.
Literally.
For the longest time.
Jessica.
That's right.
Yeah. By the way, I was searching for something on YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook recently, because I was looking for something for a family member, and I just typed in JA, because something I was looking for started with JA, and like hers was the very first like thing that came up. Like, God, nice. I wonder how she's doing.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
I think that's everyone who's ever been a regular. So that's 10 people.
That sounds about right. We're a big group.
Now myself and Shinoda are the only 2 people left on the podcast that have been here since the very first episode, because we were on the very first episode together.
Did you guys go back to that introductions episode?
God, I don't ever want to listen to it ever again. No. There was also someone on that episode that never appeared on any other episode ever again.
That's right.
I don't even remember who it was. I just know it was someone.
Dusty?
No, Dusty was on a couple of episodes, and that was Marcus's friend.
Yeah, I remember. I know. I was invited by Marcus to the podcast.
Yeah, you were. John's first episode was episode 3, which I believe was an episode where we talked about our favorite anime from 2015.
Probably, I don't remember. I remember I was supposed to be on episode 2, but I had to be at my friend's house because I believe this is when I was taking my motorcycle license course. So I was like doing that, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm too tired. I don't really want to do a recording. And I was at my friend's house, so I was like, I'm not in my own space. I don't want to be rude and be loud and recording an episode.
Yeah.
Right.
What even aired in 2015? Oh, One Punch Man. Hell yeah.
That was our anime of the year for that year, by the way. And then Natai came in, about a year or so into the podcast?
Episode 19, I think.
Was it 19?
I don't know when or how Natai got added.
Marcus.
So Marcus, because I was active on that fucking IGN Anime Club.
Which is how we all met.
Which is how we all met.
Except me. Except John.
Except John. Because John was too cool for that.
Because I literally... So, our Lord and founder, Marcus, went down to LA in 2014. And I went there. And we're both from Washington. and we met at the after party at the club where DJ I think Big Head was playing. So like they had Miku Expo.
Big head.
So they had Miku Expo at like 6 o'clock, and then it ended at like 8:39, and then at like 10 o'clock they had it was at a club, which is crazy. And then funnily enough, next door to this Miku like club, so it was like a split bar club thing. On one side was the Miku people, the other side I think was I think it's Cascade, no, Avicii, no. There was the prominent EDM DJ who died a couple years ago.
It was
Avicii.
Avicii.
It was
Avicii.
Avicii.
Yeah.
Okay. So Avicii
More
was
than a
playing
couple of
next.
years, but yeah.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years, but Avicii was playing next door. So there's like
What
hella
the
people.
fuck?
At this-
Seriously?
Bro,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Holy
That's
shit.
Yo.
awesome.
So I met Marcus there, but Marcus and I believe Dusty, was it Dusty with him or was it Taylor? I think it was Taylor. I don't think Dusty. Yeah, it was definitely him and Taylor that were there. They drove from Washington to California because they didn't want to pay for a hotel to go to the Miku Expo. And then we just met at the club, like at this bar.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And we just became friends because like, oh, we're both from Washington. And at this time, prior to meeting Marcus, I never had any friends to talk to about anime. So I was just like, fuck yeah, I'm down. I fucking love anime now. Now that I'm not in high school and have to care about people being like, oh, you watch anime, you fucking loser. So later on that night, though, I was tipping the bartender really well, as I do when I get drunk. I just start tipping people hella money. And I was just like, I remember I went outside to go smoke, and I'm just like, there's a huge ass line like around here. I'm like, why is there a huge line? They're like, oh, Avicii's playing, and I'm like, really? It's
That's
next door,
amazing.
right? So it's like you go up these stairs, and like the left side was the Miku Expo like after party, and then the right side was the Avicii DJ playing at a club. And because I'd been tipping the bartender so well overnight, I saw that there was a door in the middle that you could go to the other side. So then I was like, hey, yo, man, I heard Avicii's playing next door. I don't want to wait in line, man. Can I go through the center? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I was like, fuck yeah. I got
So
fucked
treat your
up.
treat your
Man.
bartenders well.
How did that show go?
I mean, it was all right. Like, I don't care.
It wasn't
care.
Miku. He doesn't care.
Because I was so drunk. That's why. All I remember was just drinking with random people, doing shots off of people. And then like at 2 a.m., I'm very drunk and trying to walk back to my hotel because I've got a flight at like 6 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my god.
I paid for
Yeah.
a very nice hotel that I spent a grand total of maybe 2 hours in.
Nice.
And I
Nice,
like,
John.
by the way, people in Cali, in LA, were so friendly because I was so drunk and I was in the back streets. And then there's this dude who's just in his car and he's just rolling a joint. I'm like, hey, man, I got a question. He's like, yeah, what's up? I was like, do you know how to get back to Figueroa Street? I'm hella drunk. And he's just like, oh, yeah, it's just you're one street over, man. I was like, oh, cool, man. He's like, hey, you smoke weed? I'm like, hell yeah, I smoke weed. I'm from Washington. I was like, for real? Just fucking drunk and high at 2 a.m. with strangers, bro.
Can confirm. Drunk John is the best John.
It's so fun. So fucking fun.
See, the thing about John being drunk is, I like how your internet's like crapping out. Too,
It got drunk as well.
Your internet's drunk.
Oh no.
Thing about John when he gets drunk is like he's great up to a point, and then like he gets to a certain level of intoxication and he just goes completely quiet.
Because I'm too drunk.
The
There was,
introspection
Like
starts.
when we were in DC last year, he's like drinking, and then all of a sudden he's like just scanning the room.
Do you remember the fucking beer grab he pulled in DC?
The beer grab.
The beer grab. What?
The
What?
spinning beer grab.
The what?
You guys don't remember?
Oh,
So-
you
Oh,
mean
you're talking about when Jacob dropped the beer. So then I said, "Fuck that! We're not wasting beer." So I grabbed it with shotgun.
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be an honest man and remind you that wasn't Jacob who dropped that beer.
was
That
it you?
me.
Wow.
I can explain.
Box.
I can explain. So someone just shoved a microphone in my hand when we were at that fucking karaoke bar, and I was just trying to enjoy my fucking beer. So I was like, okay. So I was like singing the song, and in one hand with the microphone, the other hand trying to fucking open the beer can, but the force of my finger just fucking push the
Point.
beer can to the floor, and it starts just like whooshing all over the place because the force of the beer.
There
And
was
then
so
John
much
just, like,
carbonation in that shit.
Oh, it made the ground so fucking sticky.
It was so
oh,
sticky,
I
bro.
remember
I
that.
felt so bad, and then John just like stared at it for
no.
a second, and grabbed it from the floor.
The worst part, as bad as that was, the worst part of all of that was we were getting like vodka shots they kept bringing them to our karaoke booth, and we were just downing them, right? And you don't think too much about it. And it's dark in that karaoke booth, so you can't really see
No, they
everything.
swapped the
Fucking
they swapped
Henny.
Yeah, they actually. Yeah. Did you do that? Was that you?
I said, "Fuck the vodka. Let's drink some Henny, bro."
I wish you'd have told me that before I downed a thing
No,
of
what the
vodka. Do you know
My
how
fucking
shocking
guy.
it is?
My
Do you
guy.
know how shocking
See
it
how
is?
fucking
when-
Asian I am, bro. I'm drinking Heineken right now. Of course I drink Henny, man. The VSOP, son.
do you know how shocking it is when you're expecting a vodka shot and it's fucking Hennessy?
I respect it.
Oh,
That was
fuck.
great. The
But no,
food was
great,
really
going
good.
back to what I was talking about, like that. John and Natai brought it up. That's kind of how this whole thing got started. The IGN had an anime podcast back in like 2014, 2015. I think they went all the way to like 2017, I think, with their podcast.
They ran
It's
for a
fairly
couple of years,
short-lived, if we're being honest.
Yeah. It was originally a weekly podcast, kind of like ours is, and then it was like every other week, and then it was like once a month, and then like once whenever they felt like it. But they also had a Facebook group that we were all part of, again, except for John, at the same time. And Marcus put a post on there. It's like, hey guys, do you guys want to like maybe have a Skype chat where we all just hang out and talk about anime? And I'm like, sure. So I responded, and he ended up putting all of us in that Skype chat, and we had this is like, I want to say it was August of 2015-ish. And we
Yeah.
were just hanging out in there. We were talking, like text chatting, and then every so often we'd get on voice calls and just talk for a couple hours. And then Marcus is like, we should record this and put it out there, make it like our own little anime podcast. So that's kind of how it came about.
That's literally how it came about.
Which is kind of funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that like that one little post on a Facebook group for the IGN Anime Club podcast led to all of this. And that's kind of how we chose the name Anime Club After Dark too, because theirs was just the IGN Anime Club, and Mark was like, I want to talk about like more seedy stuff, so we'll just call it After Dark. That's
All
how the
right,
name came
so
about.
top 10 JAVs. Let's go.
Bro,
So
I'll
Tomi
be real with you,
Tanaka.
I don't watch real people.
So care
Kao
to,
Shibuya.
would you care to disclose how many episodes it took you guys to realize Show is the guy?
Oh my god, I have a story about that.
Long time.
I didn't know Show was a guy until like I heard Show, and I don't know if I was talking to Alex or Marcus, but someone corrected me. Was like, "Oh no, that's a dude." I'm like, "You're bullshit."
I want to point out for anyone who's a relatively new listener of our podcast, first of all, welcome. Second of all, go back and listen to some episodes that Show was on a few years ago, and tell me he does not have a very effeminate voice.
He is
I will-
androgynous, sir.
Bro, show some episodes with Show were hysterical. That
Oh my
fucking
God.
guy had moments where you're like, I don't know how I can top that. Holy
Show
fucking
had
shit.
great comedic timing like 90% of the time, and then other times it was like just him going, "Shut the fuck up, ho."
Good man. Good man.
But no, I have a story about that. So apparently, and I only learned about this from Show like years after the fact. Apparently, early on in the podcast, like I want to say by around episode like 5 or 6, so early into 2016, Marcus apparently came to Show like in a DM and is like, "Hey, dude, I don't really care at all, but I gotta know, are you gay?"
What? Who does that? What the fuck?
No. People do that.
Goddamn
That's a thing.
weebs.
It is a thing. It is
Goddamn
like a
weebs.
Who
thing.
cares?
No one actually cares, but they're like, huh,
Just
that sounds
curious?
gay. I gotta confirm.
guess. And the
I
answer is
mean-
yes, very gay. That's the story that he told me, like, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago that I had never heard.
It's a good
Which
story.
is a very Marcus thing to do, thinking about it.
Marcus
Yeah.
had his moments.
Yeah. Remember when he had us critiquing hentai? That was great.
I
Oh,
wasn't
fun
present,
times. That
thankfully.
I don't think that
Actually
was his
fun.
idea. I'm pretty sure that was Jessica's idea.
Was it?
Yeah. Because
Ooh.
Jessica was
What?
like, for Anime Club After Dark, we don't do very many After Dark things, so we should probably do that.
We should
What
get a
a
woman on our
champion.
podcast again.
I don't know about that, Chief.
I don't know about that. It's a boys' club now. Like,
There's a sausage fest up in here. I don't know. There's a sneezing wall behind you we could have on the podcast in a time.
No, no, I will not allow. Never.
Also, another question that was asked on our Discord server is how each of us like have met. I am assuming meet as in like in person. There's a few people that
Sure.
have been on the podcast as regulars I've never met. I've never met Irma IRL. I've never met is that the only one I've never met IRL?
Jessica.
I think by now.
Jessica. I've never met Jessica IRL either. I think those are the only two though, because I've met Riker, because Riker was also a Floridian, and he and I used to hang out outside the podcast from time to time. I met
You
John.
scared him off somehow.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened. I think he has become a straight up furry though. Which do you remember, John, when you came to Florida and stayed with me, how Riker was so obsessed with following the fully costumed furries around at the convention we went to? It all makes
Yes.
sense. He was doing
You know what?
research.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Like he's living his best life.
Yeah,
More power to
hey,
Hey.
no hate or anything, but yeah, the first time I met John IRL, you actually came to my house in Florida.
I got a story about this. So
Give it to me.
again, very excited for the first time in my life to have friends who I can talk anime with. Okay. And me being like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Alex's house. He says he's got room if I ever visit. I'll fucking bet. Like, let's go, bro.
I said this to like as a blanket statement, never imagining anyone would take me up on the offer.
Little did you know.
Do you know who I
Statement to
am?
put out.
And then
Have you guys realized what I do?
Dude, like literally like a week or two after I said that in our text chat at the time, John sends me a private message with a picture attached of his fucking plane ticket, and I'm like, what the fuck?
What a power move.
Bro, I said do it, no balls. You won't? I fucking will. Oh, and
Man
when I
did it.
told my family, hey, I'm going over to Florida, they're like, oh, okay, where you staying? I'm like, oh, this guy I met online. They're like, what? They're like, are you
What
sure
are you
he's not gonna
doing?
murder you? I'm like, if anyone's doing the murdering, it's gonna be me. Let's be honest here. They're like, okay, that's fair.
Little been in that conversation, I know.
Yeah.
I had the same conversation with my parents.
When you came over to America, I feel like they had more of a valid concern though, because you're coming to America.
Then I got to meet. Like I said, I met Riker. I think when Riker, me and you went to that convention, I think that was the first time. No, it wasn't. I actually met Riker for the first time earlier that same year because he and I went down to Fort Lauderdale to watch the Kizu Monogatari movie.
That's amazing.
I remember that because there was only
Funny
one theater
that we
in
were
all of
mentioning
Florida.
the trip because that's where I got this T-shirt.
Hey.
We all had matching T-shirts and we went to Busch Gardens, right?
Yeah, we went to Busch Gardens together and we all had the same shirt on.
That's amazing.
I still have that the picture. Hold on, let me see.
I don't have that shirt anymore because it got full of holes because I was using it as a workout shirt for a long time.
Nice.
My sweat like dissolved the damn shirt. But no, the first time I met Riker was when we went to Fort Lauderdale to watch that movie. And we were talking about it after a recording one night, and Riker's like, man, it's such a shame that it's all the way down in Fort Lauderdale. It's the only theater in Florida that's playing the movie. And I'm like, wait a minute, there it is.
There it is.
There's the picture.
That's amazing. That should be the thumbnail.
We should definitely post that on our Discord server. But no, Riker, like I mentioned to Riker, it's like, well, I have that day off work. I could go with you. And he's like, bet.
Fuck it.
It's like meet me in Melbourne. We'll go from there. And I'm like, all right, done. And that's the first time I met him. And then John came to my house in 2016. We went to MetroCon together in Tampa with Riker. We got drunk at my house one night. That was fun.
Watch Seinfeld.
We watched
That was the
Seinfeld.
best. Like, what do you
And
want to
then-
watch? Let's watch Seinfeld.
Well, I have the entire box set.
Because
I still-
fucking
actually,
love
I still
Seinfeld,
have
so.
Yeah, you still have it.
I still have it.
Oh wow,
Amazing.
it was right there too.
And then the following year in 2017, myself, John, Show, Tom, and Jason all went to Anime Expo together in LA.
That's right.
They say Anime Expo is a once in a lifetime opportunity because you only go once. You only ever want to go once.
I'll go when we do panels, but that's about it.
Be honest, John. If you hadn't been there with us, you'd have been miserable.
Oh, I was miserable when I was there with you.
Wow,
Listen,
it's not wrong.
My only advice is I don't know if Anime Expo still sells the like $1,000 VIP.
They do.
tickets.
They do
Okay.
not. They stopped doing that last year.
Oh,
Oh,
garbage.
Okay.
They stopped doing
So-
the VIP packages.
I was like, why the fuck would I
$1,000,
want to
holy
pay
shit.
$1,000 extra to go to Anime Expo? And after experiencing it in 2017, I understand why you want the extra 1,000 because there were literally panels that they had a VIP line that it's like the fast pass, right? It's like,
Yeah.
do you want to wait in a line for 3 hours to maybe get in, or do you want to wait in a line that's only like 15, 20 minutes long to get in?
Hmm.
You get front row seat tickets, and then once it ends, you can line up and get in. So, because if you have to line up for 2 or 3 hours prior to a panel starting to even get a chance to get in, you're gonna miss a bunch of panels. Like there are a bunch of panels coinciding like within an hour of each other that you will miss because you can't wait in line for both lines. So we had to choose like, okay, what 4 panels am I gonna go to today? Because we have to wait in
Amazing.
line for, or not even just panels, just 4 events, right? Because I remember Show waited in line for the
Was that
Tokyo
the Tokyo
Ghoul
Ghoul
live
thing?
action.
Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul live action.
I think he was in line for like 3 hours and
4.5 hours and still didn't get in.
Yeah,
He was
4.5.
so pissed that day. I
Yeah.
remember that. He was so.
And then
And
I
you know how
remember-
I knew he was pissed? He didn't say a goddamn word the rest of the day.
And I remember we went to the Miss Monochrome thing. We saw Violet Evergarden. That was actually
That
worth
was
the wait.
really cool.
I thought the Violet Evergarden thing was really worth
I
the
remember
wait.
when you guys went to see that, and then you talked about it in the podcast.
And then seeing Yui Ishikawa was really cool. I liked seeing her there. But then going and seeing Yui Horii when she performed as Miss Monochrome for her first like most Miss Monochrome live debut in America, that was like pretty cool. So, but we had to choose specifically like here are the 4 things I'm gonna do today. And then you would sit there in line and wait, and it's fucking hot in the summer
in LA. It is.
LA,
Oh my god.
right? And not everywhere that you're staying at has shade. Some places had covered shade, but if you were unlucky to go past the line maximum, you would be out wrapped around the buildings and shit, like up
Baking
and down
in
the
the
stairs,
sun.
just baking in the goddamn
Ugh.
sun. It was garbage.
And they don't hand out water. There's no like water fountains or anything out there. And of course, if you leave the line, no one's gonna save your place.
that's
Now.
so shitty.
On top of all this, imagine the smell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, 15,000 people in a building that's only
Stinky
designed for like
people.
70,000 tops.
stinky
Yeah, like,
people.
Don't get me wrong, all the events and all the panels at Anime Expo really fucking cool. Meeting Hachioji P when he did his set, and then I met him outside the bathroom. That was cool as shit. That was really cool. Like, whoa, shit, it's Hachioji P. Oh man. But
Want to give context to his Hachioshi P? For those who don't know.
Hachioji P is a producer, a Vocaloid producer who makes music with Vocaloids, and he's one of my favorites. Like I'd say he's probably number 3, with my top being Clean Tears, my second being Live Tune, and then Hachioji P.
Fucking sick.
Yeah, just like the fact that we met him, and I'm dressed up as Pink Guy, I believe, at this point.
Yeah, you dressed up as a pink guy for the convention.
And I ran into a dude who was dressed up as Papa Franku with the like "It's time to stop" clock.
Amazing.
And I remember I was
How
being
did-
so fucking cringe and weird, dude. I remember there is a video of me somewhere in someone's library of me just fucking falling to the floor and just humping the floor, going, "Give me the pussy, boss."
Remember that? Hey, do you remember that time you scared the shit out of that guy that was cosplaying as producer San from what's the Idol anime? Fuck.
Idolmaster?
Idolmaster. Because you're like the guy's just like he goes by and you're like, producer San, like, you were doing it in the pink guy voice, and the guy just like grabbed his heart, like, oh my god.
How did you survive the heat in that costume?
It wasn't easy.
Bro, Papa Molly, you sweating. That's how I practice, bro.
Do you know what? Do you know one of the things?
It's like when you're having so much fun, you don't even notice, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't give a fuck.
Sure.
It's time to get fucked up.
One of the
Sidebar
things,
on the
go ahead.
whole pink guy thing. Just a quick sidebar. So while looking for shit for the statistics, I was scrolling through a few episodes. One of them is like the introduction's rolling by, and then it's like, oh yeah, and John, and then just there's like silence for 5 seconds, and then it bounce.
That
Just-
sounds about right.
It bounce.
Do you know one of the memory that I have that always sticks out in my mind for anime? I mean, there's many. There were a lot. The time that Tom got back to the hotel room and he was so drunk he just fell asleep next to the toilet.
My man.
But then
I think that
and
was
you guys were
was that Thursday after the 18
yes,
plus
It
event
was,
thing?
yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Yeah, because it was after
we were all kind of very drunk.
the pole dancing thing. We went to the like club thing that they're having.
Mhm.
And got even more drunk.
And we got and of course Sho doesn't drink at all, and so he's having to chauffeur around a bunch of people who are drunk as fuck, and he's just got he's got the most like, I don't want to be here right now look on his face, and of course we're all egging him on. And then I got back to the hotel room and I was trying to egg him on. I was like, touch Tom's butt, come on Sho, touch Tom's butt.
What the heck, dude?
Why would you do this?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Wait, John,
Oh,
don't you
hold on,
shame
hold
Alex.
on.
There's still that one video.
Oh,
I've seen that
no.
video.
I don't know what video you're talking about, bro.
This is the same night that you and me, both drunk in the same bed, we're going to sleep, and the very first thing you do is you just bear hug me from behind and like, and you whisper in my ear, "I'm Big Spoon."
Advice
I
to
remember
anyone who ever
watching
sleeps,
that video, laughing my ass off.
advice to anyone who ever sleeps with me in the bed. I cuddle, and I am Big Spoon.
Yes, he does.
He
No,
does
the
some
thing that
bullshit.
always the thing that always comes back to like the forefront of my mind is something that you all gave me and Sho shit about for like days afterwards. So we woke up at 3:00 in the morning one time to go stand in
For
line
the
to get
fucking
autographs.
I remember
Oh,
because you guys were like, "What time should we get there?" Oh, it opens up at like 7, so we can probably go at 5. And the show's like, "No, we're gonna have to go earlier." And then when you guys showed up, there were people that were there since midnight.
Yeah.
No,
So yeah,
seriously?
so
No shit.
Yeah,
they camped
yeah,
out
they are.
7 hours in advance to get
Wait,
to
autographs
autographs.
for what?
So to put this in context, Sho and I are both deeply disturbed individuals, and the creator of Killing Stalking was at Anime Expo that
Of
year.
course, it's
Oh,
always
yeah, that's when
fucking
all
killing
three of us were
stockings.
reading.
It's like I said, we are
What
deeply
show
disturbed.
cosplayed
individuals.
as?
Yes, both me and Sho cosplayed as the characters from that. That was when I realized I couldn't bring my bat in because it was an actual bat and it's a weapon. But no, so Sho's like, I just kind of agreed with the show. I was like, okay, whatever, we'll be front in line. So we get an Uber at 3:30 in the morning to go
my
down to the convention center. And we get there and there's like people in tents sitting out in front of the autograph booth. So the way it worked, I don't know if it still works this way at MX, but the way they did it at the time was they had a bunch of tickets they would give you. You'd line up at this booth, you'd say what autograph you wanted, and they would give you a ticket for it. If you got a red ticket, it was a guaranteed autograph. If you got an orange ticket, you were on standby, which means you might get an autograph, you might not. So us getting there at 3:30 in the morning for our autograph booth opened up at 7, we still got standby tickets.
Oh my
It
god.
was insane.
But I don't know. For
You
some
weren't
reason
there,
that-
Shinoda. Why do you keep saying it like you were there?
Because I got all the info immediately, and I was living vicariously through them. I was
This
loving
entire
it.
time,
know that
Shinoda's
was
been making comments like he was there. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's
Shinoda-
doing that on purpose or not, but I know you
Shinoda
were
is
there.
literally Shinoda is literally that fucking old guy from Cowboy Bebop, like the three old guys who like keep talking shit all the time. One of them's like, "We sure worked our asses off." It's like, you weren't even there, you son of a bitch.
I don't know. For some reason, that memory always sticks out of my mind. I think it's because you guys give us so much shit for it.
Yeah, because that's insanity, bro. I would
You're not
No,
wrong.
it's Anime Expo.
Yeah, it's Anime Expo.
But then the next time we all got a chance to meet was at Otakon last year in DC.
Oh, that's a good story too, though.
The first time I met Shinoda
One
was
of many-
actually when I
one
went to
of many good
Otakon
stories.
in 2018.
Yeah,
it
that was my
long
first
ago?
time meeting. Shinoda, you came to my house before I went there, right? Or is
Yeah,
that
yeah. No, when I
Yeah.
was
traveling.
yeah, when I was just doing some traveling, I was like, hey, let me come to Portland and Seattle.
Yeah, so I met
So-
Shinoda prior to that, but the only person I hadn't met would have been Natai. And I
Mhm.
remember this is literally it was in the hospital for a long time. Oh God, what happened? What happened,
reaching
Alex?
out.
gotta fix my light. Hold on. There we go.
Oh my God. So
Keep going.
I was in the hospital for like 3 months,
Was your
Like-
spleen, right?
trying not to because I was vomiting blood. Yes. And I was trying to not fucking die. So I
As you do.
remember everyone, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to Otakon because, hey, welcome. Hello, American healthcare. Shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to go and meet you guys in DC. And then I remember literally, 4-5 days after I was out of surgery, I just see you guys post like, you guys are like eating sushi. I see a sushi boat, and I'm like, fuck, I could be there. And I'm sitting at Olive Garden with Lacey, my wife, and I'm just like looking at the post, and I'm like, I look at her, I'm like, how would you feel if I said we're going to DC tonight? And she was like, are we? I'm like, we can. She's like, are you okay to travel? I'm like, probably not, but man, I really want to go. So then I booked the flight and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to DC. I'll see you fuckers in 12 hours. But I didn't tell anyone I was coming. I
FBI
wanted to be-
mode engaged. That's what
Yeah.
John did.
Yeah, indeed.
ambushed.
That
you
was
at
a
the
fucking
Holocaust
wild
Museum.
day.
It was.
Oh.
That whole
John's
experience
like,
is wild.
John is like texting us every night, like, so where are you guys gonna be in like this and this hour? It's like, I guess we're gonna be in the Holocaust Museum. It's like, he's not gonna show up. He's not that crazy. He's not gonna do it. He's fucking with us.
I kept thinking like John's waiting for a time where he knows he's going to be available and he's wanting to find out when we're available because maybe he wants to do like a video call or something. That's what I kept thinking.
Because
I
who
was like,
in
oh.
their right mind would be like, this guy literally just got out of surgery. Why the fuck would he fly across the United States?
Good question,
Yeah.
John. Why the fuck would you?
After
And then-
surgery.
And then we're just walking around in the Holocaust Museum. It's very tragic. It's like people are crying around us, and then I this fucker over. He's just like sitting over. He's like, hey, "What up?"
Yeah, I'm just leaned up on against the fucking rail.
I
cart
walked
that they
right
used
past him.
Yeah, Alex.
That's
did.
right.
Alex didn't even notice.
You weren't
And we're
wearing
like-
your shirt. You weren't wearing your I
Yeah.
Love Humanity shirt. That's how I
That's
didn't
probably-
know you.
Yeah,
It was you.
yeah, I know. This is the only way you can identify me.
Very, very easy to mistake you for someone else if you're not wearing it.
And we're like, oh, we're getting so excited, but everyone's around
In the
us. like,
Holocaust, in the fucking
the
Holocaust
Holocaust
Museum.
And that lady's
time
like,
and place, guys. Sheesh.
yeah, time and place. And I wanted to respond like, he's Jewish, right? Like, damn. What are you gonna say to that, huh? Huh, Karen? Are you a
You
Jew?
should have done that.
I should have.
Yeah, you should have.
Because I'm like, because we were being assholes, right? Like, come on. Let's...
Yo, definitely.
In hindsight, it probably wasn't the best place to meet.
Listen, I wanted to go because while we were waiting for you guys to you guys visited Arlington, right?
Yeah, we went to
Earlier in the day,
Arlington
we were at
Sound
Arlington.
Cemetery. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, we're definitely not going to go to Arlington because I can't like hike around and stuff and walk around too much. So I asked Lacey, I was like, what do you want to do? She's like, well, I've always wanted to see the Holocaust Museum. I'm like, yeah, sure, we can go there. So then when I asked you guys where you guys are going to be, you're like, oh, we're going to go to the Holocaust Museum. I'm like, beautiful. This all lines up. Like, this all works out. It's great. It's not that much walking. I can get there and it's inside an AC chilled area because fuck is the East Coast fucking moist. It is so
it's terrible.
God, it was
Swamp
awful.
ass
It
for
was
days.
awful.
The
AC
it
was
felt like
good,
Florida, dude. Except no, it was exactly like Florida because it rained a bunch too.
DC is a swamp.
DC is a swamp.
in a
It was
swamp.
Sure
pretty
felt
gross.
like a swamp, yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it'd be funny. Whatever.
It was.
There's a lot of things I do just because you know what I think it'd be funny, so I do them.
And to say like this was those two. I wasn't there that day. I was working
right.
that day. So afterwards, when the con started, eventually the other two was like, hey, come over to the hotel. One of Alex's friends is here and wants to meet. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. So I go over.
This dude asked no critical questions. He just took it at face value and said, "Oh, fuck it, I'll be there."
Yeah, I was like, yeah, cool. That sounds good. And I'm not doing anything. It works even better. So I went over, was like, all right, just gonna hang out with some cool people for a while. It'll be fun and all that. And I walk into the room, fucking the tie starts playing. What was it? Giorno's
Theme for part
yeah.
5.
And I was like, why the fuck are you playing? Like, hell yeah, I love this theme, but why are you playing it? Out fucking comes walking John, and I was just like, what the fuck?
He was like, what?
And I remember like 3 people are jumping. It's like, don't hug him. Don't hug him.
For those who do not know, actually every time Chinoda meets you, he will run up to you, bear hug you, and lift you off of the ground. And I was like, if you do this to John, it will kill him. He will bleed out instantaneously.
I don't want to go to the freaking hospital.
I
again,
give
please.
literal bear hugs, not the bullshit people call bear hugs. I mean, I will pick you up and squeeze the ever living shit out of your spine.
That was a funny day. That was a very funny day.
Oh, so fun.
Otaku was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
And I think I've been going to Otakon ever since 2018. I've gone every year, except for 2020, which they didn't have one.
I wonder why.
COVID.
Something might have been going on. I don't
who
know.
knows?
Some things might have been
Devours.
going on. I don't know. But
That
yeah,
was a really fun experience.
we've had some really crazy times. That's for sure.
And that was when we did the recording in the hotel.
Yeah, that was
room.
the first time we'd done a recording where everyone who was on the recording was all in the same room.
Oh god,
We
I
did
had
it
to-
like a couple hours before I had to catch my flight back to Washington.
Oh, that's right.
I had
You had to
to
book it.
at night. I had to go all the way back home because I was the one that brought up the idea.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, we're
That's
all
right.
here.
I was
We
like,
might
you know,
as well.
you need to bring all your gear. I'll set it up in the morning when we wake up. We were supposed to do it at night, weren't we? But we
We
chose
were
to go
supposed to,
karaoke
but
at
No.
night.
should I talk about what happened that night?
No.
Should no.
Well,
What
no,
happened
I'll
in
say
DC
why it
stays
was-
in DC.
I'll say this. I didn't know that there was some construction going on the red line, so like I had to get off the train, go on a detour bus both ways, and
dude.
I
This
came
dude.
back so much later. I was lugging all the equipment at the same time.
This dude lives in the area, utilizes the same public transportation, doesn't realize when there's construction. Dumb fucker.
Just didn't take it. What do you want?
Can I mention that I really liked DC's public transportation. I really liked the
Yeah.
fact that you could just go on a subway to go anywhere.
I told
It's one of the
this
best
to
in the
Ty.
country.
I told this to Ty because after our trip to DC, he came back home with me to Florida for another week, and got heat
Florida, you
stroke
just
while he
gotta
was
drive.
here. But I told say, and before he was in DC, he was in New York City for a couple weeks, and I said on the flight over, I'm like, all right, Natai, you've experienced the only 2 cities in this country where we have good public transportation. I
From
hope you
there it was
enjoyed
all
them.
downhill.
Bro,
Oh,
if you ever come to Washington, man, I'll tell you, like, we have public transportation here. We have a light rail and stuff now, and it's getting bigger. It's actually expanding, but it's only going to be for the major cities. So if you live in like Seattle area, it's actually not terrible. But
I
if you
actually
live
really
anywhere
like
else,
riding it. Yeah.
yeah, if you live anywhere else though outside of Seattle, you're shit out of luck, and you got to drive everywhere. And you want to talk about long fucking driving? Come to Washington, bro. You'll drive for 4 hours. You're still not out of the state.
Oh my
Listen,
god.
you start in Miami, you go to Pensacola, you're still in the same state. 12-hour drive.
Pensacola is not a real name. Give me a break.
Yes, it
It
is a
is.
real
Yes,
place.
it is.
Yeah, it's a real place.
It's the last city before Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama.
But no, that's what I told Ty, like, so you enjoyed that public transportation, right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, don't get used to it now.
And then we went to Florida, which has 0 public transportation. That's
Yeah,
worth
it's all
anything.
just cars. You got to
In Florida, it's like, you want a tram, you want a subway, go fuck yourself.
They have it at Disney
Sunshine
World.
State, my ass.
They have a monorail at Disney World. That only
also
goes to
have
2 of the 4 parks.
They have a skyhook as well that takes you from the hotels and stuff.
What's a skyhook?
It's
Oh, I know
basically
what you're
like
talking about.
Yeah.
it's a
It's like a ski lift.
yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's
kind of like
it's a
it's like
Oh.
you know, like imagine like a Ferris wheel, like you're inside of a Ferris wheel cage.
Right.
It's just that, but it goes around to the different parks.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't have
Probably
any
hot as
ventilation
shit
or
in that
anything.
thing, though.
Yes,
so.
and when it rains, it gets so fucking wet, and it's just like there's no AC, so it sucks.
Like being on a water ride.
Yeah, but I
sounds
figured I was like,
terrible.
I'm in Florida, I'm gonna get wet. Who cares? It's whatever.
Bro,
You
I
got wet
enjoyed
the second you
Florida.
got out of the airport.
Florida is really nice, but man, the fucking humidity it's a bitch. It's a real bitch.
literal swamp.
I do love the fact that you got home and you told your father about what happened, and your father, much like my mother, told you, you weak ass bitch.
He's like, you grew up in the desert. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, did we went? I take him to
Dude,
Disney
dry
World.
heat is different from humidity. I will
It
take
is.
That's what I told him.
110 dry heat is nothing compared to 90 humidity. All right.
Yeah.
90
like-
heat
yeah.
with 90 humidity. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
No,
Kill
Florida
anyone.
humidity is the worst.
It's
Absolute
very
worst.
different, and Natai found that out firsthand. I took him to Disney World, and he just passed the fuck
Oh,
out.
yeah, he had to.
Yeah, like when I went to
Paid
Disney
$100
World,
just to get dehydrated.
paid
Fucking
$100
shit.
to just get passed out. No, when
Yeah.
I first went to Disney World,
Sorry about that,
with
Alex.
Lacey, I got a heat rash for the first time in my life. And
wow.
I thought it was like, she made me do a sugar scrub. And I was like, I hate the feeling of sugar scrubs because it feels like slimy and stuff. I don't like it. But after I did the sugar rub, I started getting a heat rash. And I thought it was a allergic reaction to the soap. And it's like going all over my arms. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, that's heat
Terrible.
rash.
That's fucking terrible. Can't
Fucking
believe people
Florida,
live
man.
there. Why do
Yeah,
people
I have
live?
no clue.
Why do people choose to live in a swamp? I don't understand.
Cheap taxes.
You guys have alligators that eat your internet fucking cables. What's wrong with
Yeah.
you?
Whoa, hold on. I don't have a problem with the swamp kitties. They're cool. They can stay.
The swamp kitties.
Yeah, they're the swamp kitties.
Off.
So can we talk a little bit about the people who may not be regulars on the podcast, but they've been guests and also people who have helped us
Wonderful
along the way?
guests.
Sure.
I've enjoyed every single person we've had on the podcast, all the guests we've had. We had Burger has been on a few episodes. We had
God bless
Yara
Burger.
was on. Ian has been on a couple episodes now. Your friend Natai.
Yeah. my guy.
I feel bad because the last episode he was on, which is already out now.
Great
you weren't
episode.
able
It
to
was
be
a
on
lot
it.
of fun to listen to.
Yeah, it was great having him on. We came up with like 3 other ideas for episodes he can be on while we
Yeah.
were recording.
Ian's a great guy.
But no, he's fun to have on. We'll definitely have him back. Also, Vix has been on a couple of times now. She's also been on a couple of the streams that we've done. Vix actually created this overlay that you see.
That's right.
But we also have a bunch of people who have helped us along the way. We have Ida, who makes most of the thumbnails on YouTube that you see. Does a great job with those, and the art you see down there in the corner somewhere. The little 200th episode art. Burb made that. So he does great work for us.
Shout outs to, I'm so sorry for forgetting the name of the scam later that was our guest.
I know this.
You know this.
I know this.
I wasn't on the episode.
Leo,
yeah.
I had to go look
Cool
it up.
Guy.
And we're obviously looking to have more people on as well because, increases the stuff we can talk about. Ian has a lot of interesting perspectives on stuff too.
I think almost every guest-oriented episode we had was like a lot of fun to listen to and like just super enjoyable to record.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder if that's why other people collaborate so much. Like, whoa.
I know, right? Whoa.
Crazy.
Also, getting Vix on is not easy because she lives in Australia too. It's like having Tom back on the podcast.
Like having Tom, yeah.
I miss Tom so much. I love
Tom. Was such a
Tom's humor was always great because it would always be like it would sound so sincere what he was saying, and then it would just be like, yeah, a bunch of cunts. Like that bunch of cunts would just be like
Speaking of sincerity, you guys remember when we finally all found out that Tom wasn't actually Australian?
Oh my god, that was
oh my god.
You revealed that to me like another episode like earlier this year. I didn't know he wasn't Australian.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier this year. That's right.
Yeah, Tom, although being from Australia, being born and raised, he's actually British, and we were like, no.
No, the greatest anime betrayal of all time.
No. Top 10 anime betrayals.
Still don't know how I knew that for so long.
Probably because you guys talked about it at some point. But yeah, I do want to like definitely praise the people that help us out with like our assets and stuff because none of us can draw worth a goddamn.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like a lot of the assets that you see are either done by Vix or Burb. Like Burb makes all the emotes that we have on our Discord server. He also made all the different logos that you see for us. He made this, the Finbucks Coffee logo. Also, I'm just gonna shill our merch now, I guess.
He's just plugging everything.
The shirt.
Yeah, the shirt with the logo on it.
Also,
I don't have any of my ACAD stuff I can show off right now. It's all still upstairs.
Now, I will say this art of our mascot Finn was done by Vix. So
I think we can all give a quick shout out to our somewhat short-lived D&D campaign led by Soon.
Yeah, of course.
That was a fun experiment for a while.
Yeah, Soon is also still on a lot of streams that we do.
Yeah, me and him play video games all the time.
Yeah, I know. You play Apex all the time.
In fact, I'm trying to play with him in about 10 minutes, so if we could wrap this the fuck up.
Thank you all. No. Yeah, I have to point them out because like without them, we wouldn't look anywhere near as good as we do. Because like I said, none of us are artists. We can talk and we can, analyze and we can critique, but none of us are artists.
Even that to some very limited extent.
Yeah.
Spend a whole year talking on Monogatari. Huh.
Yeah. Hey, I will say that's one thing I'm really proud of with the podcast. That series that we did. It was some of the most, not to say that anything else has been unfun, but it's some of the most fun I had actually doing a spoiler cast. And that's something that I think all of us really enjoy doing are the spoiler cast because it gives us a chance to, first of all, not only care that we're spoiling something, but also talk about things that we genuinely love.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to just like hyper focus and nerd out about certain subjects sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
All the time, honestly.
Which
Isn't that like the old Oh, keep going.
Isn't that
Go-
just
go
our
ahead.
podcast though? Like what?
Yeah, that's just a podcast. Well, is that the whole premise? Just
Yeah,
like
but at
people
least with the
coming
spoiler
together
cast,
and-
it's even more focused on one specific thing.
sure.
Yeah, Natai, you're telling me you don't want to do the final Attack on Titan, the final season, final episode?
Part 8 to 4.
The time we can talk a lot.
Not with Alex.
Hey, you all are more than welcome to talk about that as much as you want without me. I'll upload it, but I don't have to be a part of it.
No,
Fair
no,
enough.
you
I
need
think
to
that's
finish
fine.
it.
I mean,
You need to finish it. You
Yeah,
gotta. You watched so much by now.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Sunk cost fallacy.
yeah.
I know,
Actually,
exactly.
to be fair, with how much Mappa has completely bungled the final season, I don't have that much left to watch.
That's amazing.
Like
actually.
the second part of the last season, and then the last two
Specials.
made for TV movies or some shit. I don't know what they are.
There you go.
Yeah, you're further
Easy.
than I am. I still have to watch
Yep.
all of the last season.
Wow.
Wow. At least
Listen,
I will say, at least
I read the
have
manga. I don't have to watch it if I don't want to. Really,
No, trust me. It does it better.
everyone's saying that, so that's why I want to watch it.
I haven't read the manga. I wouldn't know.
But
I
hey,
just did.
I do hate leaving things unfinished. Maybe I should just finish it just to say I've done it. It's like,
Yeah.
why have I gone to the Grand Canyon just to say I've done it? It's nothing special. It's just a giant hole in the ground.
I mean, I feel
That's
like
the
it'd be
most
pretty
Alex
cool.
thing to say about the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be pretty cool to look at a giant hole in the ground.
It's
I am-
great, John. It's great the first time you see it. I've been there like 12 times. It hasn't
Okay.
Oh
changed
my
a bit.
god.
Listen,
Why?
Why?
Because
I
every
feel
time
this-
every time I go out west
No,
like
no.
that, there's always someone I'm with that says, "I've never been to the Grand Canyon. We're so close. We're in Vegas. Let's go look at it." I'm like, okay.
I'll remember that next time coming to the States.
I just want to point out there's a primal urge in me that goes hole in ground, unga, bunga, hole in
Dig
ground.
deeper, make bigger.
I thought you were gonna say there's the primal urge in me. I see a hole. It needs to be filled.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, I don't know why. I'm just like giant hole in the ground, just like monkey brain, neuron activate, like real shit, giant hole in ground.
But no, going back to spoiler cast. If you notice that we've done a little bit more of those recently, it's because we kind of want to. We also want to go back and do spoiler cast for older stuff, not just stuff that's coming out like recently. I know we talked about it at the end of our a Monogatari spoiler cast. The next like big spoiler cast series we want to do is JoJo's, which I think Natai is probably going to take the lead on that.
We'll see about that.
Natas is so nervous. You can see it in his face.
It's
Reality.
not easy being a host, is it?
We don't. No. We're not talking about that. Reality is sinking in, but we won't
Yeah.
talk about that.
Um,
It's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it. Actually, I do because I did have a plan for it, how I want to go about it, because I do want to tackle it different from Monogatari. I want to be more like less beat by beat theme, more like free flow kind of discussion about each part. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to doing it.
I want to talk about how Joseph, was it Joseph or Jonathan, like smacks a frog? That's
That's Zeppeli.
oh,
bro.
it's Zeppeli.
Bro,
Zeppeli.
that's Zeppeli.
Okay,
Jeez.
listen, I have only watched part one time, okay?
5, bro. Fucking 5 times I watched that piece of shit.
Did I ever tell you guys the fact that I named my Starfield character Caesar Zeppeli?
No.
Oh my god.
I will,
Why?
I will take a screenshot later.
I hope he won't share the same fate as Caesar.
Don't say that. Oh God.
It's kind of a heavy burden to hold.
Who you?
Cheers. I'll drink to that.
Oh god.
Oh, this is just ice at this point.
He's drinking spicy
Drinking water.
But yeah, we do plan to do more spoiler casts as well for older stuff. I know something we also want to do is like a compare contrast spoiler cast between Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 and Brotherhood.
Oh, that's so
Um,
much to watch.
I know,
I
but it's
mean,
gonna be so worth it.
I mean, we did want to do a Berserk's podcast, John.
Yeah,
I
John,
mean, yeah.
get on it.
Do that. We should do that.
Do we even have? We don't even have room in the schedule for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah, we're pretty
Nah.
booked for the rest of
Yeah,
the year.
we're booked for the rest of the year.
That's something I
There's
never thought we'd
always-
say on this podcast.
I know. We started really organizing and really digging down and being
We've
like,
gotten
we
really
should
good at
probably-
it.
Well, the reason we did it,
2024.
the reason we did it is to make sure that this episode came out on our anniversary date, because this year it just so happened that the 20th of November happened to be on a Monday
Yeah, it's just
when we normally release our
what's
episodes.
the fucking word? Serendipitous. It's been
Yeah.
serendipitous.
Absolutely.
That's a good word.
But no, there's a lot of them we want to do. I know that when the new Spice and Wolf comes out, I want to do a compare contrast spoiler cast.
Yes.
That I am so looking. You have no idea how I creamed myself when that was announced.
Bro,
Listen,
I
if-
remember that text that day. It's like the time I'm crying. I'm crying.
No, I didn't even tell you what it was at first. I just put in our Discord server. I'm like, all I did was I tagged you like 80 times in a row. And
That's
then,
right.
And then you hop on. Like, what? What's going on? I'm like, I'm crying. And then he's like, what? What happened? And I put like little Twitter posts in there, and you're like, no, is this real?
I couldn't believe it.
Still can't believe it.
No game, no life, man.
Yeah, it's
just like.
happening.
Eventually.
At the end of the movie, I'm telling you.
At the end of the movie, I'm telling
Yeah,
you, season 2 is going to be announced.
Well, Riker did get Magical Index season 3, I guess.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate.
God.
Very unfortunate.
Such
God.
a mess.
Was it JC staff really fumbled that football, didn't they?
Poor
Literally
JC
the most epic and awesome arc in the entire light novel. And they're like, nah, we're gonna put our C team on this. It's fine.
All right. We're not gonna get into this. That's a whole nother tangent.
But before I talk about we talk about what we got planned for the future, there is one last question that someone asked that I do want to get to, and that is her, our mascot.
Okay.
Question is, how was Finn and her lore made? So, fun fact.
Oh, here we go.
So
By Alex in a basement alone.
no, yes.
I mean, mostly, yeah.
After furious masturbation. No, so Riker is actually to blame for us actually having a mascot. So I want to say it was pretty early on. I think it was like within the first year of our podcast. Riker was friends with an artist who drew a picture of like this. It looks very different than how Finn looks now.
That's right.
This like tomboyish cat girl, because like I guess the artist friend was like, hey Riker, give me like 3 different prompts to make a character with, and he's like cat girl, short hair, and I forget what the other one was.
Tomboy.
But tomboy, sure, we'll go with that. And then that was the result. Actually, I can go find a picture because there's a lot of people who don't know what the original Finn looks like. But anyway, that was our mascot.
Very
for
2015.
Yeah, quite a while. The fuck am I going here? Thank you, computer. I know how this works. I graduated doing this. I know exactly how this shit works.
It's funny to see how like the
Oops. That is
design
not where I
evolved
wanted to
through
put
the
that.
years.
That is not at all where I wanted to put that. Thank you. Yes, the design definitely did evolve a lot over the last several years. Where's my? I know technology, guys. I promise.
What are
We've
you
done this
doing to the
before.
document?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Jesus.
There we go.
Professionals.
8
over
years
here.
later,
There we go.
and we're still.
There
Oh
we go.
yeah, the original Finn.
Yeah, there it
That's-
is.
So yeah, for those who don't know, this was the original design for our mascot Finn.
Look
We
at
kept
that
this.
baby.
We kept this for like I want to say 2.5, 3 years, and then we actually started getting followers, and I came to the realization: wait a minute, we haven't paid any kind of royalties to use this character as our mascot. We haven't got any kind of written agreement that the artist won't sue us. Now, granted, it was something that Riker, a member of our podcast, got made for him, and he agreed to let us use it. But it is what it is. Also, there is another version of this character. Why did I do this? Motherfucker. Hold on.
You know technology.
We are very well prepared.
Well, I was so prepared to do this. Give me a second.
Starts showing all his fucking porn that he's had in the
That's a lot of terabytes, John. A lot of terabytes.
I'm just gonna share the window instead of the screen. There we go. There we go. So yeah, this is the version that Vix made of the same kind of character design.
God, it's the slutty version.
Slutty Fen.
And then so after a while, I went to Vix and I'm like, hey, we need like a brand new character design that's kind of like similar vibes, but just different looking. So she's like, okay, so you want a cat girl tomboy? I'm like, yeah, and we want it to be kind of like maybe ACAD themed, and like our I guess you would say our color scheme has always been like purple and black.
Why?
So
I don't know why it's purple and black.
It looks good, okay?
I mean, purple and black go really good together.
I legitimately, I took over as the editor for the podcast only like, what, 5 years ago now?
About that, yeah.
4 years, 5 or 4 years ago. So a lot of these decisions were made without me being in charge of anything.
Here we go.
I was kind of just the guy who showed up sometimes.
Actually, no, I would like to take back what I said. So originally, the new version of Finn started off as one of our followers at the time created a sketch, because I had mentioned offhandedly in our Discord server, it's like maybe we should really think about getting a new mascot or a new design for our mascot. And so this was the eventual result.
I love this design.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of what we went with for a while. By the way, for those who don't know, yes, Finn's actual first name is Fuyuko, not Finn.
I didn't know that. I mean, I can't believe there's such deep lore.
I know.
Bro. If you would have seen the family trees Alex sends me every now and then.
I know.
It's
I know. He even developed the family crest and everything. I know about all that shit.
Yeah, I've got listen, I have too much free time. I know. And then so when Burb came in, he also drew his own version of sort of the same character design, which was this, which is kind of what we've gone with since then. And that's when Vix came in and created like the reference image that you see now, which is, well, this is an updated version, but it's this.
Hey,
This is yeah.
Whoa! What is that fresh snapback that I don't see on our merch store? This snapback. Whoa, hold on there, buddy.
Look forward to it in the future.
Are you showing like?
Do you notice? Do you notice though that her the bottom of her shoes has toe beans?
I did not notice that.
What's a toe bean?
The thing
They're
that
the
the
beans
cat
on the
pads.
bottom.
Cats have their pads.
Oh,
It's called toe beans.
I
But yeah,
didn't
originally
know
she
that.
didn't have any tattoos. Over the years, we've added a bunch of like weeb and video game tattoos to her design.
You say we. This was all you, Alex.
Okay, a lot of it has been me. To be fair, some of the changes that little changes we've made over the years have been brought to me by Vix and Burb. Burb came up with the idea of her having the womb tattoo. That's completely him.
I
Yeah.
approved of it.
Throwing our
checks
artists
out,
under
yeah.
the bus. Okay, then.
Also, it glows. Just putting that out there.
No one asked, but okay.
Alex is going full Fen mode.
Yeah.
Going
He's
full Fen mode,
unstoppable.
Listen. I am creative. I promise. Anyway,
But you keep promising.
yeah, that's sort of like the origins of Finn and like how her lore came to. The lore is most of it's just me.
This is Alex. He has free
The
time.
lore is I made it the fuck up.
Literally, quite literally.
My sources, I made it the fuck up.
Fuck up.
But yeah, my eventual goal, because all of us have these designs for our characters, like we have these podcast characters
That you
we
can
call
see
them.
to the side over there.
Yeah, you can see him to the side in the art that Burb made. Eventually I'd like to write stories using those.
Am I the
characters.
only human character? Are you all just fucking half animal people?
Maybe.
God,
I'm not half animal. I just have horns. I'm a human.
I'd like to
That's
point out
different.
you like, oh, I'm the only professional one here, brother. You made your character's height 6'9".
I said I'm the only human.
My brother in Christ, you made your character's height 6'9".
I made my character memed. How tall is he? 6'9".
Of course.
I would love to get
So
like
fucking
plushies made of
obvious.
our characters. That'd be really cool.
Will be real life size John, just 6'9".
I can be a gremlin. But no, so do we want to talk about some of our plans for the future as kind of a way to end this?
As long as you guys are still motivated to make videos, like I as the editor, I have to sometimes slog through things that Chinoda says.
A lot of
since
it.
I've started doing the clips and stuff, editing those, I realized just how many bullshit words he puts in his thing because I have to cut them out. And it's like there'll be like a 10 seconds of Chinoda talking, and I have to make like 18 cuts in that fucking 10 seconds because he's like,
Listen, it gets.
I've been
Hey,
working on it, okay?
But
Shinoda is just pain.
I remember there was a point a couple years ago where I was like, dude, the podcast wasn't fun to do. And like it just was like felt like people showed up just to show up for a weekly thing to do. And it's like it's that passion that really drives like what we do.
mm-hmm.
Like just the fact that every time we have an episode, I don't dread going, oh fuck, I have another episode I gotta do or I gotta edit. And I go, oh God, I need to get this done. Oh God, what should we title it? Oh, here's some more ideas. Like it's like the creative floodgates opened up once I started having a lot more fun with the podcast. So as long as that doesn't stop, I don't foresee us ever stopping making content.
I remember you came to me one night and you were talking about that. It's like, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Yeah,
I kept asking you like, well, like, what's your reasoning? Why? And I'm like, and you told me that basically what you just said. I'm like, well, maybe we should just only have people on that are passionate about the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, because again, the grand total of 4 sentences, Chinoda, you really needed to be on this episode.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's hard to. It was very different when it's been like 7 people at the same time. It's a very different.
Yeah, it's a very. And I remember we had feedback from the reason we decided to cut down to at maximum.
That's right.
4
we got that
people on an
email.
episode.
Yeah,
is because we had someone who actually reviewed it and was like, "Hey, so like one of the biggest issues is you have way too many people. It's too scatterbrained. Like it needs to be more focused." And for whatever reason, the golden ratio for number of people talking is 3 to 4. Like 3 plus guests is generally like how most podcasts are done. And there's a reason for that, because that is the number where at least everyone can equally talk, or if 2 people talk more or about the same as each other, the other one still doesn't seem that far left behind, you know?
That's right.
Which, if you notice, the only time we have more than 4 people on an episode anymore is if we're doing a WTF, which are inherently less structured anyway and longer, so it gives people time to actually talk.
Have we done a WTF that has 5 people on?
I think
lately?
one of the ones where we had Burger on where was 4 of us plus him. I think.
Yeah, we were 5 people.
I think.
Yeah, and it's just like it's once we started. Once I was like, I vented out all my issues with the current state of the podcast, and then I took over.
This hostile takeover.
Then I LLC'd the company. I own everything.
It worked.
It's all me. I own it all in perpetuity.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Yeah, after I voiced those complaints, like, and then we started making real changes to like all of our gear, the way that we approach making episodes, and then it became fun again to do. And that's what
our shit together. Yeah,
started getting our shit together and being more focused and having fun is kind of like the biggest deal to me. As long as each episode is fun to record, it's fun to listen to. Like I love when you guys do the Monogatari stuff, like when you guys did, because it's like you're so fucking giant nerds. bro, that scene with Shinobu, oh my god. Like, oh god, look at this fucking nerd. That's me.
Yeah. And I want to point out for anyone that might think otherwise, no one's ever been, at least to my knowledge, no one here has ever been kicked off this podcast. Everyone left of their own accord because they just weren't having fun with it anymore. They weren't passionate about it anymore, and they just wanted to do other stuff.
Also, life just happens.
And life
just
happens.
move on. It's like shit happens.
Like the thing with Irma being on our podcast, she was only on for what, like a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
And the big reason that she left was because she was in university.
Yeah.
And she didn't have enough time to kind of devote as much as she wanted to this podcast. And she's like, well, instead of half-assing it, I'm just, I'm just going to say, I don't think I need to be on this anymore.
Yeah.
Bro,
And,
remember?
like, it sucks when people leave. Things change.
Yeah.
I don't like change, but sometimes change is good. And I definitely feel like the podcast is in a way better spot and way healthier than it's ever been. And I hope to continue to grow it like that.
Yeah. And we are growing slowly, but surely.
Bro, I'll never forget that one time right after show left, or was sort of like he was starting to leave, where it was like Alex and I realized, oh, it's only the two of us recording right now, so we just need to get a lot of episodes done in case one of us is not available. Otherwise, there's not more than 2 people to record. That was a fun time.
Yeah. And I think that I don't want to speak for everyone here, but I think everyone who's ever been on our podcast that has left, I think they're all free to return if they ever want to, even if it's for like a one-off thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely fine with people returning, but I do want to stick to the 4 people an episode.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
again, it just works better for an episode.
flows
It's a
better.
matter
It
of
just does.
quality. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more about the quality, which
Yeah,
I think,
and I'm more than
technically-
willing to sit out if I have to. Like I'm not that passionate about something that I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll sit out.
yeah.
But if it's
Like,
if it's definitely an idea that you came up with, like we're not going to exclude you from it, right?
like Natai being here because this is all his idea.
Yeah, and the ties 200th episode idea.
And we didn't even do anything for our 100th episode.
I don't even
right,
think
we
we
did.
realized we hit 100 episodes.
I don't even think we realized it until way after the
Just
fact.
steamrolling.
So it's good that we were able to do this. I also want to point out this episode is going to come out the week of Thanksgiving in the United States. So happy Thanksgiving to all of our American viewers.
Happy Turkey Day.
I'll be working.
I will not.
Government.
I do not
drone.
celebrate because I don't thank it. I'm kidding. No.
Bros, use it
Good
as
joke.
an excuse. Just stuff yourself with food.
Bro, I
No,
stuff
for
myself
real.
with food every day.
Bro,
What are you talking about?
No, you want to hear something wild that I thought I would never see? Last night I sent Natai a DM. Can I talk about this, Natai?
Fucking go for it, dude.
Bro, the Israeli government acknowledged that Jesus was the son of God. I never thought I'd see that in my
cares?
lifetime.
Alex tweets me excited.
I
Like,
don't
look,
understand.
they just tweeted about it. I'm like,
What?
So isn't the whole like Judaism predicated on the fact that
The Savior hasn't come yet.
Yeah, we believe that Jesus was real, but he is not the Messiah, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that the entire thing about Judaism?
This is like
is
DLC for
he's
Judaism.
not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
What the fuck?
Naughty boy.
There's your Monty Python
There
reference.
you go. Always,
Hey,
I
Natai,
feel like the things
he
we
has a
reference
wife,
the
you know.
most. Oh my god! You could do a bingo card of things that we always mention in an episode, and I swear to you, Monty Python is always going to be on there.
Monty Python, Seinfeld, Berserk. We have a few more.
Neil Breen.
Neil Breen.
Freaking Metal Gear Rising.
That's right.
Always the senator. We always reference the fucking senator.
Nano machines.
Freaking wrestling. We always Joe
It's
Rogan.
just
We always
memes.
bring
We're
up
just
Joe
constantly
Rogan.
referencing memes. That's all.
the memes.
We're just a
It's
collection.
the
of
memes,
people talking
Mason.
about
It's the
memes.
memes.
It's the memes.
What do they
Mason.
mean? What do they mean?
Just think
Yeah, I-
about the fact that even 10 to 20 years from now, there will be courses in memology.
There are courses now in memology.
Yeah, there
That's
already
real.
are. What do
Are
you
they
mean?
really?
Yes.
Holy
They-
shit.
Aren't they just scams though? Let's be honest.
No, like I'm legitimately.
Is that like
at,
for real?
Yeah, at one of the colleges
Bro,
that I
for
used
real,
to
for
go
real?
to. Yes, they had memology
God,
class,
chill.
like learning the history and like the effects of memes and stuff. And I'm like, it was actually a very interesting class
That's amazing.
because it wasn't just like haha, we look at funny memes all day, but it was like why do you think this got popular? You know, and then we talk about like the current state of pop culture and stuff like that. Like the reason why shows like Simpsons and Family Guy are so popular is because they make references and SNL for that example as well, they make references to the current pop culture, right? So
Right.
that's why when you watch one that you don't understand the pop culture for, you don't think it's funny. You don't get it.
That's right.
It's the same reason why people who weren't around when the meme was big don't really understand why it was big in the first place. Like Rick
That's the
rolling.
thing about that. Sorry, keep going.
Oh yeah, I was like, Rick rolling was something that I remember everyone did, and everyone still continues to do. And because everyone did it for so long as a meme, it became a new type of meme where Rick rolling the meme is the meme. It's memeception, bro.
That's like the thing, like, because the word meme is like, oh my, that's why I play Metal Gear Solid 2, boys. So like the word meme is like an actual academic term about like how
How fast something spreads.
information is like
Yeah.
transformed from one like either generation or like one person to another.
I
It's
had to
crazy
read.
how
I had to read the book that Richard Dawkins wrote, where he coined the word meme for my
That's right, he
philosophy class
coined
in
it.
university.
yeah, dude, meme is like an academic term that just now it's like he funny dog grr thing.
Yeah,
Hey, funny
like
blonde
that.
dog.
I like that we
Great.
started off just talking bullshitting about the podcast, and now we're like, so in memology
So
class, with
meme.
philosophy, like, we're actually going over academic shit. We've been an educational podcast this entire time.
Oh fuck! Oh shit! I gotta learn.
Snake,
But that's
turn off
just
the
a
console.
theory.
An anime theory. God.
Did you guys see the trailer where like Matt Pat is in the movie and he's like doing
For
the
FNAF?
that's just
Yeah.
the theory? Yeah,
I done.
that's
Anyway.
where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna watch it.
it's where our podcast is at. Let's be honest. Yeah, I like John said. I think that what we have going now is probably the best. I would hope so. We've been doing this for 8 years. I would hope we would have learned from our mistakes, and gotten better. Yeah, I think it's as healthy as it's ever been. I feel like maybe we should go back and do like some of our old episodes, like redo them now that we actually have cameras and good audio equipment and not Jason's fan in the background.
Listen,
God bless
the first
Jason.
7 years was like the alpha build, right? Now
It
we're
literally
actually
was.
in the early access.
So you're saying we're Star Citizen?
I knew
of
you were going to
podcast?
make that reference.
Oh.
Let's hope it's not that much of a scam.
Can you imagine someone being like, "Man, the moment they switched from Skype to Discord, they fell off."
Who in the right
Like
mind?
that one guy shaking his hand.
Does Skype even exist? I don't know. I think it's called.
It does.
Bluetooth.
It does still
It does,
exist.
and it's
Isn't it just
still
called
very
linking now?
vulnerable to
I don't know.
fucking hacking. Don't use Skype.
I also know that there's a couple people that are still in our Discord server who have been pretty much with us since the beginning. Y'all the real ones.
The
Real
OG
G's.
fans.
Yep. No, we appreciate everyone. We appreciate everyone who's been around forever. We appreciate the new fans. And we're always open to like feedback, criticism. And the praise is nice too.
Yeah, just don't keep dumping on Alex. It hurts his feelings sometimes.
Validation, nice.
What do you say?
Validation is
Validation
nice.
is nice.
Validation
Yeah.
is nice, yeah. But that's what Bill Cosby said.
Oh, bro.
And now
what the
I've
fuck?
ruined it.
Thank you all out there for dropping by.
No, I definitely hope we have a lot more to come on the podcast. I look forward to doing more spoiler cast for sure. It's the thing I have the most fun doing. I hope we get to do a lot more of them next year.
Considering how long our list is,
Hope we get more guests. I like having the guests on.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
the
too.
guest
Like
episodes are
for anyone
awesome.
who's listening, like, you know, if you have someone you'd like to recommend us to reach out to and see if they'd like to be on, please let us know below. We're open to just having just about anyone on. There's a couple people that we've had on in the past I'd love to have back on. Obviously, I'd love to have Ian back on. Vix is always welcome, assuming we can ever figure out a time where we can all work it out where she can be on. I'd like to have Yara
And-
back on the podcast at some point too. That was a great
And
episode.
Burger.
And Burger.
yeah.
And like we're always like bouncing ideas about new shows we might want to do. Like John and I were literally talking about stuff and an idea we have cooking. So you know, like who knows? Maybe
Let 'em
something
cook.
will come. Let him cook.
let him
So who
let him
knows?
cook. You don't want to let me cook. You'll smell it burning.
Rana.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, hold on. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Ooh. Wow. That was a lot.
What did you drink there?
It was just straight up whiskey, and I just took a full mouthful of it. That was a lot.
Nice.
I
So
don't
I
have a
guess,
stream to do in a few minutes.
Oh God. That's
Um,
right. You're supposed to. Oh, I forgot about that.
I
was
have
gonna
to.
play
I have to
Apex
take
with them.
Soon away from you. I have to take your
Oh.
boyfriend away from
You're
you.
taking Jacob from me. My Apex duo. What are you doing?
I have to take your Apex boyfriend away from you.
No.
That's right.
Is it-
Maybe I'll
but
play with
honestly. So I don't play Apex because the one time I tried to brick my
We're
computer.
not getting to that
Um,
story
Oh
now.
God.
I have to ask though, is he any good at it? Because I've never watched him play.
I mean, I think he's an average player. Maybe a little better than average. Yeah.
He's improved. I remember
is he
like
to
when
the
he
darn-
started.
Shinoda, you
God
are
level.
literally worse than a beginner. It's like you've never played a shoulder. Like the fact. Yeah.
Whoa, hold
no,
on,
he's
hold
gotten
on.
Better. Like what metric do you have to serve as like he's gotten better?
Because I actually watched him play and I saw him in the beginning versus where he's at more recently.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
like,
gotten
okay,
better.
yeah, he does a lot better. Now,
You know
as
what?
for other shooters, Apex has way too much of its own thing. Come see me and other stuff. I can do decently on my own.
Shinoda, I've watched
no
you
one's
play Battlefield. It's pretty
Not
much the
just
same.
Battlefield. Thank you very much.
Shinoda, no one is coming to play with you Fallout 76. Give me a break.
Oh
What's
my
happening?
God. Oh my God.
This dude is single-handedly keeping Fallout 76 alive, I swear.
Between you and Shinoda, Alex, supporting Todd Howard's like freaking games.
Hey,
you're the
listen.
ones keeping Bethesda's lights on, to be honest, at this point.
I love Fallout and I love Skyrim, Skyrim, but I also love Elder Scrolls in general. I will not play Fallout 76, and I will not play Elder Scrolls Online because fuck that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Happy 200th. I hope for
Happy
at least
Thanksgiving,
200
I
more.
guess.
Yeah, and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you everyone for stopping by to watch us celebrate our 200th episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below if you like what you saw and want to see more. Check out our merch store where I will I will 100% hawk all this stuff. It's all there. They got Natai's shirt. You going to Michelob Ultra now? What a downgrade.
I know. I ran out of Heineken. I just,
Talking
it's
shit.
Michelob.
Heineken is not that good, bro. I'm
Heineken's
sorry.
all right.
It's all right.
Bro, Heineken is real piss water. Give me a break.
It's
I
it's
mean-
no Guinness, but
Drink real beer.
Listen, I was too lazy to go upstairs and get my my Voodoo Ranger, my sponsored Voodoo
Hey,
Ranger
yo, let's go.
alcohol and merch, guys. They're so cool. I love them so much.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Lacey for getting you all that
Yeah.
product.
Shout out to my wife for hooking me up with a sponsorship with Voodoo.
Shout outs
Not
to
really.
women.
Yeah, shout out to women. They the real ones.
hey, women are pretty cool, guys. Yeah, women are pretty cool.
Touch grass, eat ass.
But
you
we
might
all know
actually
femboys
have someone.
make the best girls.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chinoda. I heard you, Chinoda. I hear you.
But check out our merch store where you can help out the podcast and get all the really cool merch. There's also some new stuff coming. Actually, very recently, I added a brand new water bottle that you can buy because you can sell water bottles on the merch store now. So, also check down below where you can find links to Anime Club After Dark on Discord, on Twitter, TikTok. Thank you, Natai. Thank you for taking care of that for us.
I'm trying.
Also, again, thanks to everyone who's ever been on the podcast, who's ever helped to make this what it is today. All the people who make assets for us, like Burb, Ida, Vix. Thank you all so much. I hope to work with you guys again as we go forward. And that's it. With that, I have been your host, Alex, and we will see you next time. Say goodnight, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
This has been a fun nostalgia trip.
Remember Barry? You remember?
I want to eat. He's so fucking bad right now.
I want to try
Do
it. I
it.
want to see because I
Do
know
it.
that
Do it
outside of
live.
the
You
US.
know what? I
yeah,
will do it right. No, listen.
Do it
I was
right
gonna
now.
Do it.
Yeah.
I was gonna do
So-
it on our WTF, but I'll do it right now.
Outside
like
of the
a-
US, there's chemicals that are just straight up banned, right? This is why Mountain Dew Mountain Dew in like Europe is not the same as Mountain Dew in the US.
Ooh,
So I
smells
kind of
good.
want to know what it tastes
It
like.
smells nice.
It smells really good. Yeah, I looked at the back end of this on the ingredients list. There's no preservatives.
Yeah, it expires in like a
Have
month.
fun, bro.
A month. Yeah.
So, John,
right.
I've heard Mountain Dew in
Here we go.
Europe tastes
Get
a
in there,
lot
boy.
different.
They're pretty good.
I know, right?
Does it taste the same as like the Doritos barbecue?
No, it does not.
Oh man.
Better, bro.
It tastes fresher.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. The sour and spicy is the best tasting one. It's not even a competition.
I can definitely tell there's MSG on this though.
Oh, you bet, bro.
is Alex about to kill this whole entire bag?
Bro, now I want it. So
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yo, I want them now.
John, you need to get these. These are really good.
Hey, Alex, can you ship some for me?
Next time coming to the States, I'll bring some bags with me.
Mm.
Hey, champ.
Hey, next time
Talk
bring
to you
some
in
of
a
that
year.
goat cheese.
Oh, I will,
Oh, yeah,
bro.
those cookies were good.
Like,
Don't worry about
bring
it.
me some goat cheese. I love goat cheese.
Oh, you bet. I'll bring some coffee as well. No, fuck
Yeah.
off, John.
I
Yeah,
hate
there you
goat
go.
cheese, bro. I hate
Coffee
goat
is your
man,
language.
too, but-
I know coffee is your language. I got you. Don't worry about it.
All right.
It's like an after credit sequence for our podcast.
You know, the
Everyone's having
worst after-
shawarma.
What are you still doing here? The movie's over.
Get out of here.
Go
Get
home.
out. Go
All right,
home.
Go home.
All right, end it. End it.
Why are any of you still here?
Thank you for being on the podcast. I
on.
love you.
Love you guys.
Hey, you ever wonder why we're here?
Just to suffer.